considered that part of what makes a man see you or any other woman as a woman of high value begins with you or the woman herself? My name is Marchant Johnson, and today I'm going to share with you 5 key things that you can do to help the right man see you as a woman of high value, the kind of woman that he would like to choose as a girlfriend, wife, or potential partner. I'm excited about sharing this with you because one of the emphasis of my work is helping women see themselves as women of high value so that they can meet and attract a high-quality man to enjoy that loving partnership, committed relationship with an amazing man that most women dream of. And I've often said that if I could stand on top of the mountains, the Rocky Mountains that I live near here in the state of Utah, I would have a megaphone and say to the women of the world, you are a woman of high value. Place a high value upon yourself. So that actually leads me right into the first piece that I want to talk about. The first thing that I want to say is one key to having a man see you as a woman of high value is that you know your own value. You are centered in knowing your own value, and it's intrinsic within you and is not dependent upon what is or isn't happening outside of you, whether or not a certain man is or isn't doing anything or showing up in a certain way. Your value remains unchanged, and you are clear about that no matter who is or isn't showing up in your life and in what way they're showing up in your life. So some of you have seen me do this little example, but I want to just do a brief version of it again. If you are a woman of high value, I want you to imagine that you're represented by this diamond ring. Now, this diamond ring shines and sparkles and has its brilliance, and it's also a certain style and design. Now, it may be that a man may come along and this particular ring may not be the style or design or exactly what it is he is looking for. So he may not see the value in this particular diamond ring. However, that does not change the intrinsic value of this diamond ring, because there is someone out there who will see its beauty, magnificence, and brilliance, and who will value it and see its value. And that, if we use this as an analogy for you, just because a certain man may not see your beauty, magnificence, or brilliance does not mean that your value is changed in any way. And when you are centered in knowing your own value, you do not get affected in the same way by someone's perceived lack of attraction or lack of interest or not showing up in a way that you hoped that they would. You recognize that may just be their preference or their choice, but it's really not something that changes your own value and your own worth. And the right man will see your value, your beauty, magnificence, and brilliance, and will be attracted to you. So when you know your own worth as a woman, you're also much less likely to collapse into trying to change your style or trying to change the way that you look or behave or show up to try to make a certain man see your value. You're not going to twist yourself into a pretzel like that. You're going to recognize that you're going to be boldly and beautifully you, and that the right person will see your beauty, magnificence, and brilliance, will recognize your value. But it all begins with you knowing and seeing your own value. So that's the first piece. The second piece that helps a man see you as a woman of high value is that you don't overinvest or overgive, especially in the early stages. You give the relationship and the man time, and you see what happens over a period of experiences and over a period of time and over a period of dates before you go all in terms of giving your heart, your time, your attention, your affection, your body, your commitment to a man. You wait and see if this is the kind of person that has the qualities and character that you're looking for, if this is someone who consistently shows up for you in a way that you feel good about, is consistent, is reliable, has the character qualities, and is someone that you can admire, respect over the long haul. Here's something I know, ladies, that if we sometimes get ahead of ourselves in our minds and we start over-giving, or we start over-functioning, or we start over-investing, it usually has the opposite effect of what we want it to have anyway, because a man can actually have his motivation decreased when you start doing all of the heavy lifting, so to speak. So when you are clear enough about your own value that you know that you can give yourself and the relationship and the man time to kind of see what's really happening and how this person is really showing up over a period of time, and give yourself time to know him and for him to know you and to assess compatibility before you go all in. This is actually something that will help a man to see you as a woman of high value, because you're not doing all of the work and taking away his motivation or making him think that you're like easy to get. Now, I'm not into game playing, and that's not what I'm talking about. But I am talking about you being centered enough to know that you don't have to do all of these things or try to move things along or to try to manipulate or control or manage the pacing. You can allow things to evolve and develop and give yourself a chance to assess whether or not this is the right relationship with you. In almost every case, relationships benefit by having a bit of time on the front end before we go all in to determine whether or not they're right. So take that time for yourself and have the confidence and clarity to do so. The third thing that you can do to help a man see you as a woman of high value is to simply be out there living a rich, full, satisfying life. Do those things that you're passionate about, that are important to you. Be involved with those causes and with those people that you love and that bring you joy and that make you happy and that make you fulfilled. And don't stop doing those things because you met a guy, because you met someone that you're interested in. How frequent is it that a woman meets someone and then she no longer has time to spend time with her friends, or she no longer prioritizes some of the things in her life that made her so interesting and attractive to begin with? This is really, really important that you maintain this as you're dating, in a relationship, and even after you're in a committed relationship, because these are some of the kinds of things that are going to bring you joy and satisfaction and build you up and fill up your bucket, so to speak, so that you don't feel depleted, exhausted, and have nothing left to give. Another thing men have told me is that seeing a woman who's really deeply passionate about things, or really enjoying herself, or really committed to certain things, or really involved in certain things that really light her up, bring her joy, bring her fulfillment, bring her satisfaction, are some of the very things that make that woman most interesting and attractive. So have that kind of life to begin with, because it's going to be attractive to the right kind of man for you, and then maintain that as you get into a relationship, as you explore a relationship, and even as you move into a committed relationship. Number 4, the next thing that you can do to have a man see you as a woman of high value is have boundaries and standards. This simply means you know what is right and best for you, and you are comfortable in letting someone know if something they're asking for, doing, requesting is not something that you're comfortable with or not something that you want to do. You are clear enough about your own value that you don't feel like you have to be a pleaser, or that you have to twist yourself, like we talked about, into that pretzel or change those things. Your boundaries and your standards do not collapse under pressure, is what I'm saying. You don't collapse under the pressure of feeling a lot of attraction for someone and overgive or have sex too fast, too soon before it feels right for you. You don't collapse your boundaries and standards into being pressured into doing something or saying something or trying to be something that you're not just because you think that that's what someone else wants. And just because someone is asking or requesting for it, if it's not right for you, you have the confidence and clarity to say what is right for you and to hold those standards and boundaries for yourself, for the man, and for the relationship intact and in place in a nice and yet firm way so that you can be the kind of person that someone also respects. Mutual respect is really, really important in a relationship. For women, we really need to be able to respect a man, in my opinion, to not only to fall in love with him, but especially to stay in love with him. If a woman loses respect for a man over a period of time, it's very common that the love also dies. So that's really important. And a man also needs to respect a woman, meaning that he needs to hold her in high regard and respect her boundaries, her standards, her needs, her desires, her feelings, and to care about those things as she communicates them. But we have to be clear about what our boundaries and standards are in order to be clear about them and in order to communicate them. So that's number 4. Number 5 is you're comfortable for asking for what you want and need in the context of a relationship. So often, ladies, we're so afraid to express a want or a need because we feel like it's going to be too much, or it's going to scare a man off, or he's not going to be willing to step up to that standard, or he's not going to fulfill that request, or he's not going to think we're worth it. We have to think we're worth it. We have to believe we're worth it. And we have to be willing to let someone know what our wants, needs, and preferences are if we want to give them that opportunity to show whether or not they can be there for us in that way. And that's really, really important to know if you're considering having a relationship with someone, especially a long-term relationship. And so these initial stages, these early stages of dating and these early stages of getting to know someone are really, really important. And having these 5 things in place in terms of knowing your own value, not over-investing or over-giving in the early stages of a relationship, living a rich, full, satisfying life and maintaining that, having boundaries and standards, and being willing to ask for what you want and need are all 5 key things that are going to help a man see you as a woman of high value, see you for who you really are, and you're both going to have the opportunity to assess whether or not there's enough chemistry and compatibility in order to continue to explore a relationship that could go the distance. I am holding that vision for you that you can have that deep, satisfying partnership love that you're wanting, and I know these things can help. So remember that you are a woman of high value and show up in all of your interactions in life, in dating, with men, with your head held high, with that confidence and knowledge in your heart, and I know it will make a difference. If you like this video, please click the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and feel free to leave a comment below, and I will look forward to connecting with you soon. Sending you love and blessings. Bye-bye for now.